Hey guys, what's going on? It's Will Patterson here again, and welcome to another Illustrator CC tutorial. Today is not really a tutorial about the program itself, it's more of a tutorial on the logo design process that I take. Now, a lot of you have been saying that there's something called negative spacing within logo design, and this is completely true, and I haven't talked about it much because it's quite complicated, but I've got the perfect logo design here, which I've been broadcasting over Periscope and Instagram and stuff. To show you about negative space and how important it is. So Fortitude Supply Company is the actual logo design we're working with. This is a fitness apparel company, and they commissioned me to design a logo for them that would be like, new, more with the younger generation, I'm guessing, but not like competing with the older generation. If you get my drift, that's basically what I went for. And you can see here I've guided everything up, and this is a big process. Now, this is the first sort of document with everything in it. As you can see, it is massive. There is a lot going on here, and then over here I've actually got the final piece here, and this is another document with a lot of different things going on in it, and it can seem really overwhelming, but it's not in my eyes, but for everyone else's design point it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just show you about negative spacing. Now, this is the logo in general form. There's nothing different about these apart from the colors. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this one actually down there, and then over here I'll have this one. So here we have Fortitude in its normal form. Fortitude Supply Company is what it's supposed to be. So what I've done is I've created everything with the guides, and these guides have created the thickness of each letter. I haven't shown you properly, but here you go. I'll show you so you can see the thickness. I've created the guide so it's all going in the right direction on angle wise, and it's all spaced correctly, and also all these angles, all these lines, and guides will show the thickness of each letter and their consistency. I've also created guides down here at the bottom, which is for the bowls of the letters down here. Now, it's really important to keep these consistent and everything else going on here consistent, because that is what generates good negative space. Positive space is the places where you've drawn. Negative space is the places where you haven't. That's the easiest way I can explain it to you. You can go into a lot more detail than that, but I don't think there is any point or need for that. So over here, you can see I've got some angles, and these angles are to map out the positive space. Now, our brains love to see things in symmetry and in grids, basically, and that's what we went for. And you can see here in this logo that the negative space, so the places inside of the letter forms, are quite consistent, and this is because they're guided, so they're all at the same angle and they come up in the same thickness. They look consistent and similar as well. And you can see over here this one does not, but you can see that this L is very consistent to this L in thickness. This L is actually consistent to this L here. So the insides, they are very consistent because they are the same, especially with these bowls here. Same with this bowl. The D is just the E, but the E's got another stroke inside it. The U is basically an I, but twice without the dot at the top. And you can see how I've gone through all of this and made it very consistent with each other. That is what negative spacing is. But you probably, if you're working on a logo design that is a type logo design like this, so you read it and it's not a mark or anything, then you're probably going to be looking at this going, I can't see it properly, or people find mistakes out from it other than me. So what do I do about that? Well, here is the answer. Now, when we're looking at this, we see this as Fortitude. So we read this as typography. So we read it and our brains generate this as a communication of type. Now, what we need to do actually is to stop that from happening by making our brains look at this as a shape. Now, the way to do this is very simple, and this works all the time for me. I'm going to just copy this down here for a second. This is what I do all the time with my type logos. Copy this down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press O to get my reflector tool, and I'm going to go ahead and just alt click it, and I'm going to vertically reflect it and copy it. Now you'll see we've got two of the same logos here. One is basically reflected vertically. I'm going to get rid of it, this one here. Now when we look at this logo, we see it as a shape because we can't read it properly. And this is where we can start to pick out the small bits that aren't right with the logo, such as this piece of negative space. This is what I'm going to start to do. I'm going to start to outline with a weird colored stroke everywhere that is like impeding or that is not correct. So there's one there. Another one I would say is over here for this L here. Another one is probably the E here, and you can see where all the negative spacing is like being found here, where it's not consistent with other negative spacing. Luckily for me, these changes I didn't make because I liked the idea that the changes were, or I liked the idea that the negative spaces were in the right position for this company. But if you're trying to make something that looks ultra clean and clear, that doesn't look handwritten at all but looks perfectly done, gridded, and negative space is crazy, then you might want to spend a bit more time with that. So I hope you enjoyed that video. It's basically just making sure that your negative spacing is correct in all aspects of this type design here. Make sure the kerning is right, all the angles, and here the guides again. You can see the angles of which have gone onto it and stuff. So that is basically it. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and click down in the description below and you can subscribe to me. And also I've got a font coming out soon, and I'll just show you here like a little well, you can't really see it very much, but there you go. That's part of the font. It's available August if you ever wanted to see it and all that sort of stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.